What's up, everybody? It's day 399, and we're going to talk about winterizing the homes. We got a 20 part checklist that you can do. Now, this isn't going to be for just the South or just the North, but it's going to have a mixture of the South and the North in it. So if anybody's watching it outside the South, or if anybody is watching it in the South and you're thinking I'm crazy for even mentioning these things, this is the reason why. We're doing a nationwide winterize the house checklist. So, number one, clean the gutters. Definitely always clean out the gutters, the tracks right there. One easy way to do it is get you an old spatula and just dig that stuff out. You can either carry the bag with you, dump it in there, or just throw it on the ground and then leaf blow it up later. It's going to be kind of wet and kind of gritty. You might have some like shingle dustings on inside there too, but it'll get all that stuff out, get all those nasty leaves out of there, throw them on the ground, clean them up afterwards. But definitely get the gutters cleaned out. You shouldn't need them after the leaves fall in the other parts of the country. But down here, I mean, you still got to clean your gutters pretty much all year round. Number two, check your smoke detectors. This is always a good time to go check the smoke detectors and your CO2 detectors. The CO2 detectors, they last about 6 years. Smoke detectors, about 10 years. Also, check the batteries for the expiration dates and see where they're at. Because you know every time a smoke detector goes out and the battery goes out, it's going to be in the middle of the night and it's going to wake you up. Definitely always a good time to check it. Number three, this one's bleed the hot water heater. Not the hot water heater, but hot water radiators. Because of the fact that some air can get up inside them. And those are going to be the ones that are like kind of like a coil. You're going to bleed those out, let the water air out so that way the water can circulate into this cold coils, and then that will actually heat it up. Because if you have the air in there, it's just not going to work as good. Number four, clean steam radiator vents. Basically, clean the air valve. A lot of times they get painted inside these old houses, and the air vent gets covered up, and you just need to poke a hole in there, get the vent covered out, uncovered, so that way the air can flow through there. Number five, best way to water your lawn. Your lawn still needs watered every once in a while. It's not going to be needed as much as it is during the summer because you don't have that hot sun just beating down on the actual grass. But the fact is that the grass is still growing. Normally grass stops growing below 70 degrees, like when the average temperature is below 70 degrees. So in the South, we're going to last a lot longer, maybe like November, December, probably the last cutting. A lot of times up north, it's going to be about end of September, beginning of October when you can do the last cutting. But you still want to water it, and also you're going to want to fertilize it, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Number six, aerate the soil. This is one of the best things you could do for the grass because of the fact that the ground gets hard, it gets packed in, some are playing, everybody playing on, the ground's packed. And aerating the soil is going to actually let the water and the nutrients get back into the ground and unpack that soil a little bit. So go ahead and rent one of those. In the fall, you could do it up to 2 or 3 times a year, but if you're only going to do it once a year, definitely do it in the fall. It's going to help out the soil a lot more. Number seven, extreme temperatures. We don't really have to deal with that in the South very much, but up north, they do. It gets really cold. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to bring in your paints, like your latex paints, latex caulks, anything that can freeze out in the garage, and you don't have a good heat source going into the garage. Bring that stuff back into the house. That way you can, I understand that. That way you can that way you don't ruin it, okay? Number eight, keep windows, another thing is like Windex and things like that. Like anything that you think is going to freeze, bring that stuff back inside. Don't leave it outside in the garage to where it can freeze or in a barn or anything like that. Keep window wells, number eight, keep window wells clean or risk a broken window. A lot of times, some of the window wells could get some water leak built up inside. Go ahead and clean all that stuff out. Get some leaves out of there so that way it actually drains right and things like that. Don't end up having a freeze and getting some water in there and it actually cracks the window. Number nine, fertilize in the fall. You can fertilize up to like 3 times a year, but definitely fertilize in the fall. Use a fertilizer that's 4-1-2. 3 weeks before the last cutting. That's like the nitrogen, the phosphagen, and things like that. We're not going to go through that. But you get, like I said, 3 to 4 times a year. Definitely do it in the fall. If you're only going to do it once, do it in the fall. So that way it protects the grass for the harsh winters that are about to come. Number 10, straighten out your gutters. A lot of times when ice will form on them, they'll start to bend because ice gets pretty heavy. So straighten those out with some angle iron and a chain and just kind of bend them up there. A lot of times in the South, we don't have to do that kind of things because we don't have a whole lot of weight put onto the gutters. But you might have to straighten them after a hurricane. So go out there and check them out. See what you got to do. Number 12, cut the grass short. Make sure the grass is only about 1.5 inches to 2 inches long. You don't need it very long, especially up north, because of the fact that when the snow falls down, it's going to pack the snow and you could get some grass rot, things like that in the grass. So then next spring, it's going to be harder for it to grow. You have some dead patches, and it's just going to be a nightmare to get it started. Number 13, winterize your sprinkler system. Down here, a lot of them, if you still have a backflow pump on your actual sprinkler system, you'll see it on the side of your house. The PVC pipe goes up. It's got a little pump right here, and then it goes back down. Drain that guy out. And sometimes there's an air hose connector on there, and you could connect your compressor and actually blow out the water, depending if you could get enough pressure built up, and it'll blow out the rest of the water and blow it out the sprinkler heads. But like the ones we have, it's actually all underground now, the newer ones, so we don't have to do that stuff. You can drain them, but they're pretty much below the frost line. I mean, I dug mine up and they were like 18 inches down. I'm not going to worry about them. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Number 14, definitely drain your garden hoses, especially up north. Drain those out. Hold them up if you got to. Put them on downhill slopes so you can drain them. Put an air compressor to it. Blow the water out. All sorts of different things you can do. Roll them up. Put them in the garage. Or roll them up and just put them on the side of your house. Kind of cover them up a little bit. No big deal, but just make sure there's no water. If you leave water in it, it can freeze, expand. Ice expands, and therefore it's going to rip a hole in the actual hose. I've ruined some hoses doing that back in the day. Number 15, cleaning your chimney. Get all that soot and everything out of there. If you haven't cleaned it in a few years, definitely clean it this year. Burning greener wood is going to actually cause your chimney to get dirtier faster. It creates more excess stuff. The moisture inside there does. So if you're burning the green wood, you got to clean it about every 50 times. If you're burning nice dry oak, that's just very clean burning, then go ahead and just clean it about 70 times every 70 burns. But overall, if you haven't cleaned it in a while, go ahead and get it clean this year. Definitely winterize your grill. Number 16, winterize your grill, outdoor grill. A lot of times, people up north, a lot of people will put their grills up because they're not gonna go outside at minus 30 and grill. Down in the South, I pretty much grill all year long, and it's 30 degrees outside, or about 35, 40 degrees. We'll go outside and grill, so we don't really need to winterize it because of the fact that we're still gonna use it. The reason why you want to winterize it is so the bugs and spiders and things don't get up inside the burners and just create a nightmare once you go to start it the next time, or it just won't start, do different things. You got to take it apart and clean it. So you might as well clean it before you even get started. You could take the burners off and spray it down with some cooking oil. That way it's going to preserve it. The moisture won't get on it. It'll just kind of roll off. And it'll be all set up for next year. Number 17, store the lawn chairs. If you don't have a finished garage, you could take a 7.5 inch board, about 1x4, 1x2, put it about a 30-degree angle, kind of like this. Attach it to a 2x4 and a 2x4. Hang up your lawn chairs right there. If your garage is finished, go ahead and buy some little hooks at Walmart or Lowe's or something. Hang them up. Hang up the lawn chairs. Get them up out of the way because you're not going to need them for the rest of the season. Definitely the winter season. Number 18, change the furnace filter. Down south, we'd be changing the air filters, but you're supposed to do that every month. But go ahead and do that. Maybe blow out your AC unit. That way you don't have any leaves or anything in there, especially right after the fall and the leaves all fall down. Blow that thing out, get that thing cleaned out. Up north, a lot of times they'll actually cover the AC units because they're not going to use it, kind of store it. But instead of putting a tarp over it and so vermins can get inside there, just put a piece of plywood, a couple bricks on top. That way nothing gets inside there. But definitely clean out the furnace filter, AC filters, and just check out your ACs. Number 19, make a driving kit that is gonna help you out just in case you get in trouble during the wintertime when it's cold. Put some those little heater packs in there. Put some, get some water, jumper cables, basic kind of things that you need in the car. The little heater packs are probably the most important. That way, in case your car breaks down, you have some kind of heat to go with. Number 20, get prepared for snow. This is definitely going to be up north, not down here. Get all the rocks out of the yard, the bigger rocks. Get all the extension cords, lights, anything that that could be buried that you couldn't see. Get those out of the yard, because especially if you're using a snowblower, you could actually run it over, ruin your snowblower, or break anything else out in the yard that you probably don't want broke. Definitely put up your garden hoses and things like that. Make sure they're hanging up at least. What was that? That was 19. No, that was 20. Oh, that was 20. That was 20. Get prepared for winter, the snow. So that's what I got for today. And I go out there, make somebody smile, have a wonderful day. And Eleanor wants to come say hi. She had her tonsils taken out the other day, and she's feeling much better. Say hi. Hi. Everybody show your tonsils. Ah. Ah. Say ah. Ah. All right. Tell everybody bye.